Bill's too furious.
And I can't think of anything better to start off with than 1 week
1 week.
by Buster Keaton. It's been
It has. I mean, it's been more than that for us, but yeah, it's the titular film of our entire show.
Yes, we named our entire show after this one short that neither of us had seen.
um, yeah, but it seems we were gonna watch this anyway because it's a notable short film from this year. But I think it's funny that it just happens to contain half of the title of this show.
Yeah. This is a Buster Keaton joint. It's him striking out on his own after parting ways with Fatty Arbuckle.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun, I think. It's the basic idea is that he has just gotten married to a lass, and he is gifted a plot of land and a IKEA style build your own home in a kit. And there is a jealous guy at the wedding who got passed over for Buster, and so he reorders. He takes a little piece of he takes a paintbrush and he reorders all of the boxes so that instead of building the house properly, they build a wacky house where things are lopsided and falling in strange ways and sagging and exploding. And there is a lot of construction based humor in this, and there is a lot of just zany house based humor in this.
Yeah, zany house humor.
Yeah, like what jokes can you wring out of what jokes can you wring out of a strange house?
Yeah. This movie takes place over 1 week, hence the title. Each day is kind of a separate scene, starting with like a close-up shot of a calendar showing the day. And yeah, it starts with the wedding, and then each day is sort of like building a different part of the house, or sort of a different kind of wacky set piece having to do with this zany house that is being built. Definitely some like classic Buster Keaton gags in this. This has not the first and not the only instance of, but maybe one of his most famous gags, which is the wall falling and him standing in the window, and so the wall like falls around him.
Right. Though there is like the most iconic Buster Keaton shot of like a wall falling on him that's not from this movie.
That's not from this movie. The sort of most famous version of that stunt is from a later movie. And also, I looked it up, and that same stunt is also in a Keaton Arbuckle short called Backstage. And that one, the wall falls around Roscoe Arbuckle, though, not Buster Keaton. It's a much smaller wall. I think the wall gets bigger each time. But like this gag is still used in things. Like it's in one of the Jackass movies. It's in Arrested Development. It's in so many things.
I mean, explicitly like as a Buster Keaton reference, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's funny that it's like, it's too good not to just keep reusing.
Right.
Because it is funny, and it's also the sort of thing where it's like, it's always kind of impressive just to look at, because it's usually a real wall that is very big and heavy.
Yeah, I mean, Buster Keaton and the other short we'll be talking about is a Harold Lloyd short, and these people are like proto Jackass, basically. Like they are. They would fit right in with Johnny Knoxville, because they are just like trying to do like the craziest, most like daring, dumb stuff possible, just to get it on film. And some of the stuff in this movie, I think probably the most painful thing in this movie was a sort of proto Looney Tunes gag where he has a piece of wood that he is sawing, and he's hanging off the edge of the wood is like hanging like 4 feet off the edge of the side of the building, and so he's trying to saw the wood, but he's on the outside of the wood.
Yeah.
So when he finishes sawing it, he falls down, and it's just like a story, you know. But like he just allows himself to fall onto the ground as he as he saws the wood off, you know.
Yeah. I think one of the gags in this he did actually like pretty significantly injure himself in. It's the one where he kind of there's a door on the second story of the house that just opens out into nothing, and he like runs through it and kind of falls to the ground, but like through a kind of like soft, I don't know, like a tarp or something. And I'm not sure exactly what went wrong in that. I don't know. It seems like it went correctly in that he falls like 12 feet or something like that, 15 feet to the ground. Um, but I read that he did actually injure himself doing that.
There's another great gag toward the end of the movie using that door again, where there's a guy like running toward him, and so he opens the door and lets the guy
Yeah.
out, and then the guy runs out the door and then keeps his momentum as he just like flies like 15 feet like horizontally and then falls down vertically. So he just falls out, runs through the air, and then picks up and then continues running as he hits the ground. It's so good. Like the way that this short plays with physics.
Yeah.
There's so much like weight and like stretching and bending and spinning. There's a point where the entire house is getting hit by a windstorm basically, and it's spinning on its axis,
Yeah.
like on its center axis, like around in circles. So everybody inside the house is like flying to the edge, and Buster does this great thing of like trying to get to the front door, and he is like running up the porch, but the porch is like moving out from under him. It's like a really amazing rig that must have been like super expensive. So I understand like them, trying to get like wring every gag they could out of this thing, because like it's a really elaborate prop that they built this house.
Yeah, I mean it's a full-size house. I imagine it's probably empty for the exterior shots of it, but it's like they built this wacky house full size on like a spinning platform. So that's one thing that I think is really kind of fun and impressive about these early like slapstick comedies, is that like there was when you see something weird happen, it's like no, they just did that.
Yeah. Something that I was thinking about with this movie is that probably the idea for pulling a comedy short out of a house itself, out of a construction itself, is probably because they were building all of these sets for the sake of all of their movies, and the sets were just like functional, and then they probably had this thought of, why don't we make the set itself like the source of the comedy?
Mm. Yeah.
And so they do a lot with it. And like it's the kind of thing that, I don't know, I feel like it's the kind of thing that couldn't get made nowadays, because like nobody has the money to spend on something so goofy, and like they wouldn't spend any money on something that goofy, and if they were going to spend money on something like that, they do it in a way that wasn't as like practical and like real touchable / expensive. So yeah, I think it's a really remarkable short.
I did read that this is actually kind of a parody of a real, I think, Ford instructional film, like telling you how to build like prefabricated houses.
Huh.
Down to like that it starts with a wedding, and like it's like a pretty, I haven't found the original thing that it's supposed to be a parody of. That, I mean, it doesn't read as such at all now, because like instructional films about building prefab houses aren't really a thing that I'm familiar with.
On
But
YouTube, maybe.
But I thought that was kind of interesting that it's like this was apparently like a pretty like direct parody of an actual thing.
It's like I heard some people talking about Steamboat Willie
Hmm.
and how it's like, yeah, it's this a lot of people don't realize this, but it's a parody of this really obscure Buster Keaton movie called Steamboat Bill Jr., which like I had never kind of made the connection that Steamboat Willie was like a reference slash parody of Buster Keaton.
Mm.
But uh calling Steamboat Bill Jr. One of the more famous silent
Yeah,
films,
yeah.
like obscure, is kind of ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I guess in the grand pantheon of movies, I guess it's more obscure than some other things, but yeah, it's like one of Buster Keaton's more famous movies. So just goes to show people don't know the silent era as well. You know.
And that's what we're here to fix.
Exactly. Um, this movie ends on an absolute showstopper joke slash stunt of a train destroys the house. Which
Oh.
again is like, nope, they just built a house and put it in front of a train and had a train drive through it. And it looks insane because it's just a real thing that they filmed.
The lead up to that gag is so funny though, because they're expecting the train to like the house, they're driving it from one lot to another. They're pulling it on a car and
Right.
it gets stuck on the train tracks, and they are expecting it. They're like, oh god, the train's coming, it's gonna smash through the
And
house.
you can see the train coming in the background.
Yeah.
And then the train turns out to be on a different track behind the house and it passes it by and everyone's like, "Oh, good. It's fine. We're safe." And then a different train going the other direction comes by and destroys the house completely.
It's so good. It's such a good subversion. I
Yeah.
laughed real hard at that.
Yeah, just such a good joke. It's timed perfectly. Um yeah, it's good movie. There's a kind of a scene that stuck out to me in this. There's a very kind of cheeky scene with Sybil Seeley, who plays, she's credited as the bride. Um
Uma
and
Thurman.
yeah. Where she's in the tub bathing and she kind of reaches out to get a bar of soap that's on the floor. And it's like, "Oh, are we going to see some naughty bits?" And then a hand reaches out and like
From behind
covers,
the camera.
yeah, like covers the camera and then like goes away and he's back in the tub. Um which is a very meta joke.
Yeah, but have you seen Sherlock Jr.?
Not all the way through.
So like I wonder if this is like this kind of meta humor, this meta level filmmaking humor is something that Buster Keaton does,
Yeah.
because there's a scene in Steamboat or in Sherlock Jr. where they're going to see a movie, and there are all of these gags related to like him being able to like walk in and out of the movie screen that is
Yeah, right,
depicted
yeah.
on the screen. And this kind of reminded me of that, like this like it's reminding you that you're watching a movie for a second, as it
Mhm.
like the cameraman just like covers the camera for a second while
Like,
she's
no,
naked, and
no,
then
no, no,
like
no. No nudity here.
and then she like acknowledges the camera too. She's like, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Um yeah, Buster Keaton truly was the original Deadpool. But yeah, good film. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.